corner block finishes at 12 inches, and here's a picture of it. This block features the square in a square unit here in the corners and in the very center. So the rotary cutting and piecing method used is the square in a square, and in this one we're going to use the stitch and flip method to do it. There are other ways to make this unit, but this is what we're going to use here. If you are not familiar with the stitch and flip piecing method, you can scan this with your phone or click on this if you're on a computer or tablet, and it will take you to a tutorial showing you how to do the stitch and flip method. And as an alternative, you can use the folded corner clipper, and I'll show you that in just a minute. You can scan this QR code and it will take you to a tutorial for the folded corner clipper. So you have both of those there. Here is a layout of the block with all the patch letters. So this is patch A, patch B is here, and so forth. And then up here is the AccuQuilt dies you can use. These are all in the 8-inch cube, and there are 5 different dies you can use to cut out this block. Here is the rotary cutting instructions for cutting out the block, and then here are some short little instructions for assembling the block, and we'll go over some of that in just a minute. Here are the pieces for this block. You have 4 squares, which are these corner A units. You have the dark squares and then the background squares. You're going to use the background squares for your stitch and flip method, and that involves drawing a diagonal line, stitching on the line, and then trimming off the edge. The other method is to use the folded corner clipper. It does the same thing, only it cuts off what you need and it leaves you with a seam allowance. So either way, these will work, and this is ultimately what you want. This is the square in a square unit. Sometimes it's called a square on point, but this is a square inside of a square. Here are for the center square in a square, right here. And these are for the sides and the top, these little rectangle sort of sashing looking things. And this goes here too. So the first thing you do is make all your square in a square blocks. You'll have 4 like this and 1 like this for the center. Now here are the units all put together. So you have basically a 9-patch block here. And so these are the square in a square in the corners and in the center. If your square in a square is kind of wobbly or wavy, if you hit it with some starch, when you turn it over and you're pressing the seams open for the second time on here, and it's a little wonky, maybe it's kind of wavy, if you hit it with some spray starch and then just put your iron flat down on this half and then flat down on this other half, and then it will flatten out some and it'll be nice and square. Now we're just going to sew this together just like a 9-patch.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time.